Most days I'd fire up the kettle for you or something. Sorry. A surprise! The brute speaks! And you have survived the conversation in one piece. Merla. Perhaps my tongue was loosened by drink. What of it? Is any man who insults the savage's pride due a beating? The law is on my side. She what? Let her apologize to my face, the shark spawn. Merla. What good is an apology? Does it fix my ear? Enough then. I am forgiving. You have what I asked for. I promised you a share of the coin. We leave it at that. You have saved my family, Aimika. I say it plain. Agrasima.
No, never talk. Just go. Leave this forest. Go leave these islands. Go return from where you've been. Said as if a word never hurts a person. You go. Speak quickly then. Your words disturb this place. Learning. The boar teach much about survival if one listens, if one watches. So sing, so say those who know. This question helps neither of us, I say. Always you foreign sorts speak of your changing god. I say you know nothing of change, and less of the hunt. No, your sort always want. This forest is not yours. This land is not yours. Go, leave. Then go, take this. They protect you if you speak true. They tear out your throat if no.
What can I do? I'd be glad to. Of course.
Watch your weight. If you'll spare me a minute, I'd like to perform a last rite for these poorly departed souls. Please, Watcher. Without my guidance, they might have a hard time finding the light. What do you mean? Just look at all these corpses. That why they're so ashy? So it's not just symbolism in my dreams. I saw my god walking through storms. Didn't know he created them. While I do thank you for shielding my pride, Watcher, I figure it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you don't mind, I'll just do a calling real quick. Mighty kind of you.
This here's a final call for all souls. Last stop for the lost. Gather around now, I'll cut you loose and haul you into the light.
Well, I had to try. It's my honored duty to reap and shepherd departed souls during their journey to being reborn. With Aethys dead, me and the other Reapers gotta gather as many souls as we can. We'll keep him safe until Gon returns to Hell and can take him into his divine embrace. I'm keeping lost souls. And here. And that's all I care to say for now. Let's go.
You're quite friendly, aren't you? Yeah! Happily. Absolutely. Of course. Yeah! Nothing I can do. What can I do? Happily. How about that? Of course. Indeed. Of course.
Could be a fight.
Yeah!
That must have hurt.
Stand together! Yeah! Indeed. I'll try my best. Hope that helps. Happily. Yeah! I'm here. Happily. Certainly.
You out there, are the beasts gone?
Perfetto! We are saved!
Me and the Watcher? We're always happy to help.
Governor Clario must have sent you to rescue us, no? But you do not look like one of his guards.
I told you the governor does not care about us. This is all about profit. For him, the rest of the Valian.
Caloste! You are here, and that is what matters. Somewhere to the north, I think. By the mercy of all the gods, it must be miles away now. I do not know why, but it seemed drawn to the pillar of luminous Adra we were excavating. He is still in the ruins, we think. We were taking measurements of the luminous Adra when something strange began happening.
Fascinating. The pillar started to dim, the ground shook, and our instruments showed unusual variations.
That's when those of us with a grain of sense got into the cage.
Something we made to protect ourselves from surges in the luminous Adra. Those have not been a problem, but I am grateful today for unnecessary precautions. The Colossus, some kind of construct made from luminous Adra. It passed through the arena toward the pillar. Moments later, the pillar went dark, and all of our colleagues outside the cage froze, like they turned to ash.
That is when the panthers and worms showed up, started going through the tents. It was awful, but Engfirth.
Some of our people are still missing in the ruins, including Oderisi, our lead researcher. It is possible he managed to hide. Most of the ruins are that way, through the door next to the ramp. If you are going below, you should take Engfirth with you.
Hey, he looks just like...
Engfirth knows a great many spells. At first, he even cast fire to chase away the panthers.
Until the flames nearly caught one of the tents.
We then decided it would be better to preserve our remaining supplies, in case we ever got out.
And when the supplies ran out?
I do not expect the ruins will be any safer. Many of our people remained behind, which has surely attracted more wildlife. It would be prudent to take help, as long as Engfirth is willing to go.
I would be happy to assist. I don't think that's really...
He has only been with us a few weeks. He is inexperienced, but he came with a glowing recommendation from an academy in Salona.
That is surely a generous overstatement. Surely we don't have time for...
A pupil of unnatural talent is the phrase I recall. It seems he was loved and regarded by almost all his instructors, though misunderstood, I gathered, by his fellow students.
I cannot imagine why.
Really, this helpful stranger surely has more important things to worry about. If that's all, then perhaps we should be off.
Be careful, amico.
I shall try. Thank you for your discretion. I'm certain you have many questions, but I fear they must wait until we're off this island. That's a rather long story. The short version, for now, is that I'm gathering information on local animancy operations. But I could ask you the same. Oh, there's never a dull moment with you. We can speak more freely once we're away from Port Mage. For now, let us find Odorisi. Poor fools. They were unprepared for this.
Ready to brawl?
Lava beyond seek.
Indeed. Ready to brawl?
Lava beyond seek.
I'm here. Certainly. Indeed. Ready to brawl?
That's it!
Of course.
I'll try not to get roasted.
Yes? I shall.
Absolutely.
That's Odorisi.
Of course.
Odorisi was always a bit obsessive, but he was a good enough fellow. I hope this was quick, whatever it was.
You place your hand against the pillar of luminous Audra. A dim, warm light emanates from the surface, but it feels cool to the touch. Pinpricks dance along your fingers, uncomfortable, but not painful. A woman's voice, scratchy, distant, and halting, echoes in your mind.
Find your soul in him.
You concentrate, peering into the Audra's energy as you would peer into a soul. Its inner light is blinding, but as you become accustomed to it, you perceive the core of the Audra itself, a churning mass of millions of soul fragments. With a jolt, the energy reaches out to you. The Angwithan ruin fragments around you, breaking into incoherent shapes and dissolving to dust, falling into an infinite well of dark gray vapor. Even the ground itself disintegrates into nothingness. All that remains is the murky expanse of the in-between. The Audra Pillar, and a skein of golden threads rooted in the pillar that extend far off into the distance. You focus on the threads. You catch glimpses of memories, your memories, mingled among the memories of thousands of other captive souls. The filaments begin to cohere, rapidly twining into a golden cord. With a muffled crack, the cord ripples outward in a violent wave toward the endless distance. The cord undulates over a space so vast that you lose sight of the wave before it finds its end. Then, a heavy creaking, like the sound of mountains shearing under their own weight, washes through the dull gloom of the in-between. A violent force yanks you along the cord at an incredible speed. The murk of the in-between warps erratically, as though you are observing it through an ill-ground lens. Just as quickly as you were pulled forward, stop, suspended below a massive figure of ancient carved Audra. Like all Audra, it glimmers with energy, but the souls and memories within it are not flowing down. They churn in a vortex that burns at the heart of the statue's mass in some invisible engine. It is Aethys. The great golden cord terminates in his back, sending pulses of energy throughout his limbs as they move. He walks in long, slow strides toward a brilliant pillar of Audra far in the distance. It shines even more brightly in the in-between than Aethys. From within the teeming throng of souls, dozens of eyes look out to you. Through the cord, their collective anguish and despair push at the edge of your mind.
Help us! Please! Help us!
Their voices echo in your mind. Somewhere within their ranks, you can feel the presence of your own soul slumbering deeper in the gyre. Aethys' stride slows and stops. His head slowly pivots until its great burning eyes are cast back along the cord. As his gaze meets yours, you feel an overwhelming rush of incredible joy, mingled with profound sadness. You have sensed similar anguish in lost souls, but never with this intensity. A soothing voice drifts into your mind.
It takes great bravery to venture through the in-between, even for a watcher.
A swell of admiration radiates out from the god's heart, a force so intense that it momentarily overwhelms you.
You do not need to follow me, for their sake or your own. Something beautiful is coming. Something that will save us all.
A great light shines from Aethys' brow, so bright that even the souls within him flinch from the source, cowering in fear. Through the glare, you see Aethys' massive arm reach up to grasp the golden cord, the tether carrying energy from the Audra pillar to him, that also suspends your consciousness.
The sun will yet rise, Watcher. You need only wait for its light to come.
Aethys yanks on the golden cord, pulling it from his back. The cord tears into filaments that blacken and dissolve to dust. Without pause, he turns to resume his stride toward the distant pillar of Audra, shining on the boundless horizon. You hear the souls within him cry out for just a moment, before your consciousness is snapped away from them. The in-between goes dark. For a second, you feel a mix of nausea and a sensation like spinning and falling. Then the moment ends. Your consciousness has returned to the Angwithan arena. The world is sideways, the Audra pillar upside down. You flinch at the feeling that you're standing on the ceiling. The disorientation overwhelms you and you collapse to your knees next to the luminous Audra pillar. Previously dim and flickering, the pillar now glows with a strong and steady light. You touch the Audra again, but the chill and prickling sensations you felt before are gone, replaced with a comforting warmth, like the embers of a fire that has just lost its flame.
You all right? Come on, we just got you back. Well, if you're not sure, now I'm worried.
I've seen you commune with souls of the dead, but this looked altogether different. What happened? Already? Moving things along rather quickly this time, aren't we?
What did Gon say? Is he gonna meet us? What do we do next? He charged you with a divine calling, didn't he? Just like he's done for me.
How
How hard can it be to find in a chain of thousands of islands?
I wonder what he's after, and why he's been giving me these dreams. The things I've seen, they leave a mark on your soul. I may not know what Gon's got planned for me, but clearly he wanted me to meet you.
Happily.
What do you see that I can't, Watcher? All of them? Really?
Watcher, we'd like to come with you. We would, and we appreciate that you showed us the way, but what if the Audra goes dark again before we reach the Beyond?
Can I harvest the souls now? Oh, I do. So I will.
Thank you, Watcher.
What a mess.
We're lucky the cage worked.
How are we to rebuild after all this? I cannot imagine.
Indeed.
What can I do for you? At last, Belfetto, tell me, please, what has happened? How much have we lost? I must know. I see. And the work? Odorisi's notes? Was there nothing of his research? You did. Gods be kind. Belfetto! Belfetto! We are saved! That is, Odorisi's legacy is not wholly lost. I like to believe the man would find that pleasing. You say this is all the work of the Titan, of Aothis, and you still insist on looking for him? He destroyed your ship, killed my people. Would it not make more sense to sail to the far side of the world and away from all this? No, that much has been made very plain to me. So be it. Merla, he will ravage every outpost in the Deadfire. That Adra is why we are here, why everyone is here in truth. The Valiant Trading Company, the Royal Deadfire Company, countless mercenaries. You'll want to go to Neketaka. Queen Onekaza II rules there at the Kahanga Palace. Anyone seeking to do business in the Deadfire Archipelago must negotiate with her first. The Queen knows every Adra vein of worth in the Deadfire. I'm certain she can help you. That is, if she agrees to see you at all. The most powerful tribe in the region, now that Onekaza II has united a host of them under her rule. Ikawa would disagree, but then Ikawa contents herself with a spit of land and a handful of followers. I have not forgotten. We will get you to Neketaka. And for that, you need your sheep. I'll arrange it with Ikawa. Between the two of us, I'm certain we can gather the workers we need. Head down to the beach once you are ready to depart. Bompiacco, it is only right, after all you have done for me. I won't keep you further. You have a long and very strange journey ahead. Some advice. After you have had your audience with the Queen, seek out the Valiant Trading Company. They make their headquarters in Neketaka, and the company always appreciates good help.
Keeping out of trouble? A little jest. What is it? Perfetto. He's a little shitne, but a lazy one. He will not cause trouble if he does not have to. Easier to work with a familiar face for the moment. I can deal with him later. So, we have one small part of Port Mage under control. A good start. Well, here you are, for your time. If I had 10 women like you, the whole of Port Mage would be set right within the week.
You're quite friendly, aren't you?
Good, you are here. Clario has made good on his promise. We are making ready to free your ship. I say still that you are fortunate. The ship was nearly lost, but it will float. For how long, So you will go to the great Kahanga city as well. You must sail north for some time, and then a little east. Take care in Nekitaka, outsider. It will close its jaws around you, and you will never notice. Come, we will see your Defiant out to sea.
We should address the matter of our ship's resources before we get underway. It saddens me to inform you that we lost several crew and most of our provisions during the storm. However, Port Margé appears to be well supplied, and I expect the recent disaster has left several sailors in want of a ship. I suggest we contract for additional supplies and crew before we return to open water, or our voyage may indeed be a short one.
On behalf of the Principes and Patrina, I must request we meet in parley. Agrasima. I will make this quick. I have heard some marvelous tales regarding your ventures in the Deerwood. In fact, you are the first dragon slayer I have ever met, outside of a grave. Some fools would seek to make a fortune by pilfering from one such as you.
He's done his research. Might as well hear him out.
I believe you have met such a fool. Captain Benweth of the Drake. Voxen of Upilnet Merla. Careful, ship hunter. mind that you do not confuse a useful skill set for a non-expendable one. My apologies. Rest assured, it will not happen again.
Apologies, Captain. Didn't mean it, really. We're up all night, you know, searching out our friend here. You've been at sea a while. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, aye? Well, mine plays tricks on others, too. Usually don't mean much. Maybe see a bit of shadow, hear a bit of tune. Not unless the person's sensitive. Like, say, a watcher.
This is the first you are hearing of us, truly? We are a magnificent but largely landless people, so we have come to own the sea. To survive, we must seize prosperity where we can. Hence, we are oft labeled as pirates, smugglers, merchants of illicit trade, or mercenaries. It will not always be so, but it is for now. Gelarde, then that should make this easy. I am keen to show my rascal of a compatriot some much-needed humility. I thought perhaps you may care to as well.
For Auntie's, do my job for me, friend. Hope you don't die in the effort.
Benwet's Drake took damage during the storm. Eventually, he will need to dock for repairs, and when he does, Seraphin can find him for you. He is rather an unrefined creature, but he is a most skilled ship hunter, I assure you.
Unrefined? Begging your pardon, Captain, but I'd be the high fucking model of the gentleman of fortune. As for Benwith, that sucker of squid tits be as predictable as the tide. I'd wager all my furriest bits that he'd set sail for Deadlight.
That would be felicitous indeed, as I believe the traitor Remaro hides there as well. I quite enjoy killing two men with a single bullet.
Wouldn't have even thought of it if you hadn't brought it up, sir. Now, I ain't hardly in any hurry to leave the fine company of the gentlemen of leisure, but the captain be right about me finding your mark. Adding to that, you sail into Fort Deadlight not knowing your innies from your outies, you might very well find the locals cannon fucking your boat to sodden splinters. Oh, you won't be regretting this, Watcher. At least so long as you keep us heavy in grog and light on the onions. Ugh, them dirty shit apples ain't never agreed with me, and I'll be suspecting they never will.
He's not sleeping near my berth, I promise you that much.
I sail now for Dunwich, my own safe port. I will await you there, should you be successful in schooling our wayward captain.
Fancy seeing you here. I can't see much of anything, really, apart from you. Just endless gray. What happened? Storm? That's strange. You'd think a man would recall a storm. It's like someone cut away a part of my memory. There's just this big black hole. It's weird. I thought death would be different. Big light and so on. But I don't see anything at all. Just you. Oh. Suppose that sounds nice enough. I'll follow you then, shall I?
Yes?
Agrasima, Casita, for taking me on.
Ahoy, Captain. Truth be told, Ferrante half expects us to get our asses blown out of the water at Fort Deadlight. Fortunately for you, I have this bad habit of beating the odds. Of course, I do that by way of good old traditional chicanery. And the most important part of any hornswoggle? Solid planning. Well, that and surviving. Valian made originally. Piled them stones up a few centuries back, but gave it up when the fishmen wouldn't leave them be. Hard to defend against Wilder crawling up out of your crappers. Captain Aldiz claimed it a few years back. Fucking filthy from bow to stern, and she had her lads and lasses cleaning fish shit out of the floorboards for months. A couple of them thought it might be better sailing elsewhere and left in the night. Aldi's tracked them down quick as you like, took their heads, and fixed them into little lanterns for the front gate. Called them Fort Deadlight's Deadlights. They say she ain't had a deserter since. Tad cruel for my taste, but I admit to admiring the wordplay. She's sharp as shit, that one. Tongue, mind, and ears alike. Sailed out of Deerwood Radir one. Knows her knots, and how to crew a ship that won't turn sour. The words ring out among the Principe, more than you'd think for new blood. Part of that's her fierce support of freedom, from slavers, from the empires, from the Huana's caste system even. The rest a lenient hand. Step out of line and Ferrante's got your old crew up for lashes. Aldiz, though, she's, let's say there's a reason she attracts limp-cocked nut twists like Benwith. Can't say I much approve of a lack of regard for our traditions, but, can't say I don't share her vexations with Ferrante and the old guard, neither. Shit, Captain. Buy a lad a drink before you go rooting through his unmentionables. Let's leave it enough for now to say I think there be a course to be charted betwixt anarchy and tyranny. Funny thing about it being a fort means it ain't a boat. Means it don't have to worry about the way the cannons are storing honking big balls. Guns they got crowning that castle put a hole in your poop deck before you've sighted land. Fort itself be floored of ceiling rum-sodden fools, so that be going for us. But Aldi's keeps the crew on the walls sharp and sober. One blast of their horns and Deadlight's locked up tight as an deer in Mugranite. We'll stay that way too, till any unfamiliar ships have been shot to shit and shot again. Oh, I did say contacts, didn't I? Contact would be more accurate, in the singular. A lass by the name of Ciri. Been running the same circles for years, doldrums and fair winds. We're never family, but never on the wrong ends of arms, neither. Might have shaken the sheets a few months back. Regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost betwixt her and Benwith, that's for damn certain. Ugh, random? What do you take me for, Captain? Well, I can't say as you're entirely wrong. Oh, you be asking me for a plan? Frankly, I were curious to witness how the famed Watcher of Cad Nua would penetrate the impenetrable. But since you asked, just give me a tick. Vast, I might have pulled a plan out of this hairy blue ass after all. Way I see it, we have an option or two ranging from the wildly dangerous to the fantastically suicidal. So tell you me, Cap, what be your preferred approach to problems unapproachable? Might be there's a way to sneak inside. Bet we can find a shady spot to tie up a skiff under the veil of night. Then up the walls and over, quick as you please. Sussing out a place to land without being spotted ourselves require Helia's own eyes. Or a spyglass. You've got a spyglass, I hope? Yeah, sure, used to. Then I made the mistake of lending it to Ferrante. Apparently forgot it weren't his. Showed him the S I carved into it and he turned around and told me it stood for spyglass. There's an important lesson to be learned there. You take something to see, you hold grip on it real tight. Oh, then let me recommend you remedy yourself there, Captain. A good spyglass, be like a good lover. Shows you the bits you'd have missed otherwise. Yeah, sure, used to. Then I made the mistake. Showed him the S I carved into it and Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack. But if not cracking, what are nuts for? Smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself up an invite, and then dressing to impress. Aye, Captain, from stem to stern. Looking the part in this case means hoisting colours identifying us as Principe. Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person catches you flying it. Well, Principe captains don't just give up their flags for a few coins. Nekataka's black market. If there be a Principe flag for sale, it'll be there. Mark it up and relocates every so often to avoid the Royal Guard. We'll just have to find wherever it currently be anchored. Aye, Captain. Looking forward to watching you work.
I'm glad to see you in good health, my lady. I was the steward of your keep at Cad Nua, my lady. Long before your time, I had my soul bound to a throne of Ardraban. And for nearly 200 years, I felt Cad Nua and the comings and goings within it like an extension of myself. It is a strange connection to lose. Still, it would be unseemly for me to complain of loss to you, my lady. With Cad Nua in ruins, there was little purpose in waxing sentimental over the rubble. I was able to salvage enough of your treasure and wealth to afford the purchase of the Defiant and the hire of a small crew. Unfortunately, that consumed the remainder of your once considerable assets.
Under the circumstances, I hoped you would not object. I suggest we proceed to Nekataka, my lady. It is the largest city in Deadfire, and we shall be better able to get our bearings there.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. I realized there could be nothing between us. But it was nice to have a friend all the same. After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours. What matters is that you got us out again. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition. At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
Wicked old bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident. The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. I had to do something, didn't I? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. I suppose so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about. Ah, that. I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything. You know me too well. All the same, I need to gather my thoughts.
Hey, this brings back some memories, huh? I like that feeling, knowing we'd stopped Theos. We were part of something big. That was something I never felt before, not even at war. Guess I went looking for it again. Not that I wanted to tangle with gods, but something smaller. Something I thought I could manage. I looked all around the Deerwood, but that place has too many ghosts for me. Things I'd just as soon forget. Ended up moving to Adir and tracking down my parents. They went there as refugees after the war ended. In part, I guess. Adir, they still got some bad blood with Deerwood. Goes back to the Revolution. Some Adirans like to give Deerwoodans a hard time they get the chance. With my folks, a group came along and tried to take their land. Made a phony claim to it. I sat down with them and we had a friendly negotiation. One fella, I don't think he'll ever be able to look to his right again. But we came to an understanding. My folks, well, they didn't see me the same after that. I think they'd have rather given up the land than have it come to violence. And I don't know if that was something we could have avoided, or if it was the cost of trying to fix things. If you like. I want the destruction to stop. I want him to finish what he's doing and then go in peace. Only I don't see it playing out that way.
I must say, our adventures together have been a welcome change of pace. When we first met in the Deerwood, you were struggling for your sanity. Now you're fighting for your soul. I can't imagine the weight of that burden. And yet you've borne it, and more remarkably. And Berith herself, I imagine. The gods have sent you after Aethys, and every power of note in Deadfire has their own plans for you. That puts you in a position of incredible influence. I'm glad you don't take your responsibilities lightly. If only more people did as much. I hope you'll remember this in the days to come.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. This is nothing like being stuck on a farm, or cloistered in the back of a temple. Tell me what's on your mind? They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Happens when I take in a particularly volatile soul. Go madder than I already am? I don't rightly know. It's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my god, even if it kills me. Sure thing, Watcher.
Hmm?